Everything in your life has become easier, faster, and more entertaining. You have access to almost every song ever made, thousands of movies, millions of videos, food delivered directly to your door, instant communication with almost anyone in the world, and somehow you still sit there thinking there's nothing to do. But I don't think the problem is you have nothing to do. I think the real problem is you have everything to do, so none of it feels meaningful. So I wanted to understand what actually changed. Did you change? Did the world around you change? Or did we remove the exact thing that made life interesting? Because the point of this video is not only to explain why life became boring, but also to show you how to make it meaningful and exciting again. To do that, I want you to start by thinking of something you once really wanted, whether it was a new phone, a new car, a gaming console, more money, a nicer place to live. And you know that feeling before you badly want something, you start to imagine how much better life would be once you get it, how much more exciting it will be, all the new things you'll do with that thing once you get it. And then you save up enough money, you finally buy that thing, it's very exciting and new for a few days, but eventually it becomes normal again. It's like the phone that you're either watching this video on or you have in your pocket. When you first got your brand new phone, you had every excuse to use it. You were taking pictures because the camera quality was so nice. You were customizing your background, cleaning out your layout. You were downloading new games just to feel how it is to play on this new phone of yours. But then it went from your new phone to just your phone. And that's exactly the process. Something is new and exciting because you don't have it. You get it, then it becomes normal. And once something becomes normal long enough, it becomes boring. The same thing happens with almost everything. Your car becomes transportation, your apartment becomes the place where you leave your clothes, your follower count becomes another number you want to increase, the thing you thought would change your life becomes part of the background. And that's because your brain is designed to normalize things. It can't treat every repeated experience as new and important forever. Once your brain understands something and knows what to expect, it stops giving it the same level of attention as it did before, because it doesn't need to figure it out anymore. The mystery that was there when you first got that thing or when you first experienced this new experience is gone. And that creates boredom once your entire life becomes predictable. The same room, the same phone, the same apps, the same route, the same responsibilities, the same evening routine. Every individual day may feel comfortable, but that's exactly why they become boring. So that made me realize one of the main things that keep life exciting is new experiences. Because new experiences is what creates that mystery. It could be great, but it can also be bad. And that risk is what makes it exciting. A new experience can be meeting someone new, seeing a place you've never visited, trying a new food, learning something you didn't know, doing something for the first time. That is novelty. That's what makes your brain wake up and pay attention to this new thing. But this is another issue I realized. Novelty is something that used to be extremely rare. You couldn't meet hundreds of people without leaving your house. You had to go somewhere, speak to someone, risk an awkward interaction. You couldn't instantly watch almost every movie ever made. You had to go to Blockbuster and rent out a movie. You couldn't just press a button on your phone and buy something you wanted. You had to save up for it, go out and buy it at a store. You couldn't immediately answer every question you have on your mind. You had to ask someone, read a book, do some research. You would see a new face only when you left the house. You would eat something new only when it got imported to your village. The only time you got the chance to experience a new place is when you actually went there. And because novelty was rare, it carried more weight to it. So novelty, experiencing something new, used to require participation, effort. And so that's what made novelty have more weight to it. It made it more valuable because of that. And the issue is nowadays novelty is fake. It has become passive. You can literally experience new things without leaving your bed. You can lie in bed and see a new video, a new person, a new joke, a new product, a new controversy, a new piece of information. So you're constantly being introduced to new things without actually having to do anything. And because you're not actually earning this novelty or actually experiencing it, the value of it becomes a lot less. And that creates what I call fake novelty. It looks new, but it doesn't feel meaningful. Here's the difference between passive novelty and genuine novelty. Passive novelty, you see something different. Genuine novelty, you experience something unfamiliar. Passive novelty, you watch someone travel. Genuine novelty, you arrive somewhere and don't know what will happen. Passive novelty, you watch someone learn a skill. Genuine novelty, you tried yourself and struggle through it. Passive novelty gives you a quick change in stimulation, and genuine novelty forces you to participate with the risk involved. And that's why you can scroll for hours and feel both unsatisfied and also overstimulated at the same time, because you just saw hundreds of new things but didn't actually experience anything new at all. And the other issue to that is that because novelty is unlimited, it starts to feel replaceable. If a video doesn't hook you within the first 3 seconds, you swipe. If a song takes too long to build up, you skip it. If a movie starts slowly, you find another one. If a hobby becomes difficult, you try something else. You never stay with something long enough to become invested in it because you have the choice not to. So because you're in this fast-paced life, your brain has been wired to just skip whenever it wants to. It gets bored, it skips. It gets bored, it skips. But this just creates more boredom. But it's not only your brain that changed, it's also your environment. Look at the difference here. This is how, as a kid, life felt and looked like. And this is how life looks and feels like now. There is less visual variety in the environments that you occupy today. Like, bro, walk around and look at all these coffee shops. They all look the exact same. They're all modern, minimalistic, have pale wood, concrete, white walls, or new homes. They all look the same. They all have gray floors, black fixtures, neutral furniture. Everything is black or white or gray. There isn't that variety that, oh my God, look at that. Look how cool that looks. Oh, why does that look ugly? Oh, why does that look so different? You just walk around and everything is cookie cutter, copy paste, because it's also the same companies that build everything, that create everything. So everything ends up looking the same. So there's less variety and therefore less excitement. Even the videos you watch, they all have the same hook, the same thumbnail, the same storyline. But there's a reason for that. Predictability is easier. If a coffee shop does something and it works, then every other coffee shop will do the same thing. If a construction company builds out a neighborhood with this architecture of homes and it sells out quick, then they'll just keep building homes that way. You don't have to re-engineer, redesign. Something worked, then just do it again and again and again. And as a result, things just end up looking the same everywhere you go. But when you design something for everyone, you often create something that nobody hates but nobody truly loves. Personality usually involves a level of risk. You have to risk someone disliking it, so businesses often remove unusual choices. That's why they simplify the design and copy what already works. Now I know what you're thinking, Pierre, should I rebuild a whole city so it looks different? No, because you can't do that. What you can do is structure your environment to be different and choose where you go to experience new things and new environments. For example, in your house, in your bedroom, in your kitchen, what can you do to make it look different? Have you changed something in a while? If not, switch it up. Paint the walls in different colors, design this table in a different way, move your bed so it's placed this way, change something in your routine so it feels different. Or if every day you go to the same coffee shop or the same place to get lunch, switch it up. If you have a free day, get on your bike, go for a bike ride somewhere new near your house that you've never seen before. It's not just because the environment around you looks the same that life becomes boring. It's your perception on that environment, and you get to choose where you go, what to do, and you can change that every single day. Hey, but there's a factor we forgot. Time. Look at this clock. Look how quick it's spinning. That's how life feels. Life just moves and moves extremely quick. Days go by like this, weeks, months, years. I turned 25 years old this year. I still feel like I'm 19 years old. And that's the thing. When you were younger, summer felt endless. Waiting 1 week felt impossible. A school year felt like an entire lifetime. Now it's the new year, and the next thing you know, it's already June. Mondays become Friday. Entire months disappear. 1 week blends into another. Now, part of this is mathematical. Let me explain. When you were 6 years old, 3 years was half of your life, 50% of your life. Now, when you're 20 years old, 3 years becomes 15% of your life. So your perception in a way changes. A year becomes less of your entire time, so it moves by quicker. But memory also plays a very important role. Your brain doesn't record every moment equally. It pays more attention to first experiences, surprises, emotional moments, challenges, and changes. And as a kid, everything you experienced was basically new. You were doing it for the first time. Your first day of school, your first close friend, your first bike, your first phone, your first crush, your first trip. Your brain kept creating distinct memories because everything you were doing was for the first time. But when your days look nearly identical, your brain doesn't need to store each one separately. It just compresses it. It's like you're a mouse on a mouse wheel, and no matter what action or how hard you do this action, you still see the same mouse wheel that keeps moving. And that's why a predictable life might feel comfortable when you're experiencing it, but it seems seems surprisingly short when you look back at it. So as a child, everything was the first time. As an adult, everything becomes maintenance. You're maintaining your job, maintaining your home, maintaining your body, maintaining your relationships, maintaining your schedule. And that's how most people live, and that's a big issue because it doesn't have to be that way. But if you do that, life becomes boring. You remain on the same hamster wheel. You have to introduce yourself to new things, to new first. New hobbies, new skills, new people, new environments, new challenges. So you can travel somewhere unfamiliar, join a class, learn a new skill like doing a handstand. Speak to someone you normally wouldn't. Put yourself in a situation where you aren't already competent. Most adults, most people as they get older, they stop doing this. They start seeking for more security and comfortability in their lives. They build a predictable life and repeat it. But that's boring, bro. You're doing the same thing every single day. Same people, same things, same hobbies, same habits. And simultaneously, a lot of people doing exactly that are also not happy with their lives. So yes, it offers comfortability and security, but it's boring and you don't like your life. You're not happy. So you have every reason to just switch it up. Try new things, try new hobbies, try new skills. Because guess what? This new thing that you're trying, if it works out, great, amazing. You tried something new, it worked out, now you're pursuing this new thing. And if it doesn't work out, that's fine. You made a mistake, you failed, but that's exciting too. You learned something from it. Regardless of the outcome, it'll create a new memory and a new form of excitement. You won't be bored anymore. But here's the problem with our day and age. Before people try something new, they have already experienced it. They already know everything to know about that thing. Because now, with social media, with the internet, you can preview something before you try it. Before going to a hotel, you watch room tours, the lobby, the pool, the view. Before trying a new restaurant, you look at the menu, the reviews, the pictures of the food. Before watching a new movie, you watch a trailer, reaction, clips. Before buying something, you watch unboxing, comparison. Before starting a hobby, you search beginner guides, mistakes to avoid, the perfect equipment. You want to eliminate every possible mistake before beginning. But that's the exact very thing that makes this new thing exciting, is that you might make a mistake. It might not be worth it. And so because you previewed this, you looked at reviews, you looked online on how it looks, how it's gonna be, by the time you finally experience something yourself, part of it already feels familiar. So you enter the hotel room, but you already know exactly how it's gonna look. You go to this restaurant and you already know exactly how the food is gonna taste. So you're not discovering new experiences, you're simply seeing if it matches what you saw. What I've learned is that before you try something new, it's good to get a sense of how it's going to be. But the excitement comes from the mystery. When you go into something and you try it for yourself without any outside factors, sources, opinions, you base it strictly off of your judgment, what you thought of it, how your experience was. And because that risk still exists of, oh, you might not like it, it might be a failure, that's what makes it cool, that's what makes it fun. Because guess what? There's a lot of things that you have avoided in your life, not because you tried it and you didn't like it, but because you saw a review or an opinion from someone else that prevented you from trying it. And that can often be the biggest mistake. So what can you actually do about all of this? I don't think the answer is throwing away your phone, deleting the interest, and moving into a forest. And I also don't think the past was perfect. Life was less convenient, information was harder to access, technology was worse. Sometimes you rented a terrible movie and wasted your entire Friday night. Life has become more convenient, and the answer is not to remove that convenience, it's to reintroduce some of the things that convenience removed from your life. And the first thing is stop escaping every quiet moment. Because the second nothing happens, you instantly grab your phone. You're waiting in line, sitting in an elevator, eating alone, lying in bed. Empty moments don't exist anymore because of your phone. You instantly grab it when you're bored or you have nothing to do, and you just scroll to fill that void. But if you immediately escape boredom, your brain never gets a chance to produce anything of its own. When you're bored, it means you have nothing to do, but that also means you have everything to do. Boredom can create ideas, reflection, curiosity, the realization that something needs to change. You don't need to meditate for an entire hour. Just stop treating every 10 seconds of silence like a crazy emergency. Number 2, become a beginner again. One of the best ways to make your life exciting again is to begin a new journey as a beginner. When you first start something, every improvement feels significant, every mistake is something you can fix. You have new milestones to reach, new problems to solve. It's the exact same thing as starting a new video game. That's what makes the beginning exciting. It's not only the activity, it's the feeling that you are going somewhere you've never been before. So ask yourself, what's something I want to try for the first time? Boxing, traveling to a new town, learning a new instrument, joining a sports league, taking a class, building something. Find something you don't understand yet and jump into it as a beginner. Number 3, create anticipation. The second you want something or the second you're gonna do something, don't immediately consume it all. If you're traveling to a new city, don't see too many videos on it. If you're going to into a new restaurant, try to just go into it blindly, see what is on the menu there, order something, try it. If there's a movie you really want to watch, save it for the weekend. Always give yourself something to look forward to that is also a mystery, because instant gratification gives you reward quickly and instantly, and delayed gratification is where you're doing something harder right now to have something to look forward to, make your future easier and more exciting. Number 4, choose depth over unlimited options. Finish one book before starting another, commit to one skill after the initial excitement disappears, have one conversation without checking your phone, stay with something after it stops feeling immediately stimulating. True enjoyment often requires attention for a long period of time because that's where the true value is built. You have to stay with something long enough for it to become meaningful. Number 5, give your environment personality. Your room shouldn't only look clean, it should look like you live there. Add colors, photographs from experiences, things that represent you, objects connected to memories, things you've created. Your surroundings should remind you of your life, spark memories. Number 6, do things nobody sees. Oftentimes we do things simply to post it online. It's not really for us, it's more so for other people to see that we did it. So take a walk without filming it, go somewhere without posting it, learn something you don't monetize, have a conversation that stays private, create something you never upload. Because not every meaningful experience needs an audience. Sometimes the fact that it only belongs to you and only you know about it is what creates the meaning. I want you to remember this. Most of the time, your life doesn't need more entertainment. It actually needs more participation. The world is very beautiful in many ways. It hasn't completely become boring. Maybe, just maybe, you became used to experiencing it from a distance.